subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Mr. Q, what's happening?
With homicide or assault?
No, I think they got him on a first-degree murder, but no.
No, not the brother as in the brother, but the twin
Oh, the
brother.
twin brother. That'll be too tricky. Yeah, that'll be too tricky. Yeah, because that'll muddy the waters, and that'll just be all over the place. But I don't know the brother's involvement. I don't know how physical he was in the confrontation, so I couldn't call that. Let's get Mayo Monica in here. We got Mayo Monica. We haven't heard from Mayo Monica in a minute. Mayo Monica, what's going on, ma'am?
Hello, Mr. Tariq. How are you tonight?
I'm good, Monica. What's going on with you, ma'am?
I'm doing good too.
Yes, indeed. What's on your mind?
I was just listening to this what you're saying about self-defense, and I understand like if there was a whole bunch of people like jumping him, then he had every right to defend himself. And I don't think we know the whole story yet about that, because I haven't heard like the whole situation. Like there should be witnesses, right? A lot of people were there. There should be people that saw everything go down, and I haven't heard any of those reports yet. So,
So you're
where
saying,
did you hear that they were like hitting him? Or
oh yeah, several reports. There's several reports that even in the police report, from what I understand, I mean, he definitely Austin put his hands on him. And we just don't know how severely. Some people said that he was punching him. Some people said he was dragging him. Some people said he broke his phone. There's different narratives of the physical altercation, but it is known that Austin did put his hands on Carmelo. That is known.
I don't doubt that, because he was he was a football player. I know how jocks are in high school, and he was also on the track team. He was supposedly really good at football too, and I'm sure he was an asshole, because I know white people that play sports when we were in high school. They were all like that, but I don't know for sure whether what happened to him, like if that was justified. If he was like, if the young black man was feeling like his life was in jeopardy, then yes, I think that he had to do what he had to do to save himself.
Right.
That would be self-defense.
Right.
I would just like to hear like witness reports of exactly what happened. I know you said the police report said that people were he was being assaulted violently, and so he felt like he had to do it to defend himself.
Right.
So why did he get charged with murder if the police said that?
Well, in the report, because they wrote down what he told the police. And again, he got charged with murder because he's black, and he got charged with first-degree murder, and which is not first-degree murder. First-degree murder is usually premeditated. That wasn't
Right,
premeditated.
it's intent.
Right.
Right, you have to have intent.
Right. That wasn't premeditated. That man didn't go to that game as a psychic knowing that he was going to be run down on by some random people. He didn't know that, or people he might have known. I don't know if he knew them or whatever. But
Well, I agree with that, because he was in the tent because it started raining. There was a heavy downpour, and he just ran under the tent to get out of the rain.
right.
And then like it seems like the people under the tent were like being very aggressive towards him, and that's not right. If he's just trying to get out of the rain, you should say, okay, just.
Right, but yeah,
But it's like they
it doesn't.
already
But
had
it's
some
if it's
sort of.
look, but if it's self-defense with Daniel Penny, because that sets a precedent. Daniel Penny killed Jordan Neely, and there was zero threat to Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny literally had to walk across the train and go behind Jordan Neely in order to choke him. That man wasn't under any threat whatsoever. And the whole narrative was, well, he was protecting other people. You see, they put
From speech, because all he was doing was
right.
talking,
So yeah,
as far as I know.
so this is what I'm saying. They use stand your ground and self-defense, and then when you're white, boy, they really give you a wide net when you're not in danger. You literally are across the train, but now you're protecting others, which is nobody was under any type of threat. So again, if Daniel Penny is going to be paraded around like a self-defense hero, we're going
I don't think that was right. I don't think that was right the way that went
yeah, but
down.
it happened and it went down and the precedent was set. So we're going to have to use that same precedent for our brother Carmelo Anthony. Let's get Steven in here. Steven, hop in.
Yeah, I
Thank
wanted to
you.
add this. I was seeing a lot of white people say that, oh well, shit, Carmelo had a knife, so therefore it's intent. I was like, wait a minute, Rittenhouse had a gun. He was ready. He was getting beat up by some skaters or Antifa people. He had a gun, and they were saying, oh, it's self defense. He just has it just in case. I can just see how automatically all these people are switching the narrative because he's black.
Mhm.
Oh, he's inherently violent. He's doing this when all of when what they've been saying for years is that, oh, all white people have a constitutional right to have guns wide out in the open so that the Negroes don't attack them, basically, is what they say.
Right.
So they have that's basically the narrative. I'm like, damn, this is exactly what happened to the Black Panthers in California, where they passed a law for gun control when the black folks had guns. And there's like, and here's the thing, like if you have a knife, you just have it just in case. I mean, I
Right.
walked on college campus with a rock just in case. I didn't have no knife, but if things went down, I would have something to protect myself. And then another thing that these people are doing is they're saying that they're saying all these threats online. A lot of these white nationalists are saying, "Oh, we're gonna kill all the black people. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." And I'm like, none of you people are gonna do
Oh
nothing.
yeah.
You can't. You're not gonna do nothing in public. You're all anonymous accounts online, and you know that is not going to be tolerated in any city because black people, this is our country. We're free. We can go to any city whatsoever, and you can't do anything to us. So that's one of the things I wanted to add.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been seeing the threat. Oh, they've been threatening me left and right too. Oh, I've been getting them threats. They've been talking about lynching me and all this shit. Man, please. I'd kick the mayonnaise out your damn jaws. Yeah, they're mad at me because some of my tweets about the case has been going viral. They're like, "Hey, God, Tariq called Austin a white supremacist. Did what is that?" No, I did not call him a white supremacist. No, I didn't. I said he was suspected white supremacist, and there is reasonable suspicion by many people. I didn't call him a white supremacist. No, I did not. I did not. I said he was suspected of being a white supremacist. That's a big difference. And there is reasonable suspicion because many people have been saying that this is racially motivated to the point where Austin's dad, remember, Austin's dad came out and had to say, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with race. I forgive Anthony. He forgave Carmelo Anthony. But the dad was out here talking about kind of hush the race talk down because a lot of people reasonably suspect that this was a racially motivated situation. And many people have reasonable suspicion that the brother, well, no, I mean, the twin brother, Austin, could possibly have anti Black views or be a white supremacist. That's a reasonable suspicion. And we just report the news. We just report some of the suspicions and consensuses out here. Not saying that he is a white supremacist, I don't know. But there's a lot of reasonable suspicion of him being a suspected white supremacist. That's why words matter. Very, very concise and clear with the words. Let's get KT up in here. Miss KT, hop on in. Miss KT in the building. Miss KT in the building.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. How are you, KT?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, KT. Are you whispering because your dude is asleep? What's going on?
No,
Okay.
I was I'm laying down.
Okay.
No.
Because if we hear a loud thud and the phone drop, do we need to call a women's shelter to get you a little place to stay or something?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay. All right. So
no,
you got one of them victim whispers, like you in Junior's bathroom, girl. It's a bunch of niggas in here, girl.
No, I'm sorry, but yeah, I was laying down when you had put me up earlier. I was speaking, but it wasn't coming through, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
But I was in a I heard a space earlier. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He was basically he had said in the title that he was allowing people to talk to give, send, and go founders,
Yeah.
and that they were taking questions. But it was just amazing, and it shouldn't have been surprising, but it was to hear some of the black folks that were kind of like trying to coincide with some of the others that they were like, this isn't a race thing, and it's not about that. But at the end of the day, what is it really about? Like, why to really look at how the things had happened, and even some of the witnesses saying they repeated what he said, touch me and see what happens. And you know what I'm saying. So it's just kind of weird that he had that in the title, but then he had them come up there and say that it's not a race thing. But y'all, it was just really weird, and a lot of in and out type of thing. And it shouldn't have been surprising, but it was to hear some of us like trying to say, oh yeah, a child their child was killed, and one of ours is, he shouldn't. It was just really weird. So I just.
Okay. Yes, a lot of buck dancing going on. Thank you for the call, Layla. KT. Layla Brown. Hop in, Layla Brown. Layla Brown or Lala Brown. Layla Brown, what's happening? All right. Layla Brown must have hit the thing by mistake.
Hello?
Oh, that you, Layla?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, dear?
Okay, my only thing with like Carmelo, that whole story, I feel like even if you do take, like, as we should, take race out of it, I'm in Florida. I remember a story, Christopher Reeve, Curtis Reeves, he was an older white gentleman. He shot another dude in a movie theater because he was checking his text during the promos.
Okay.
So I don't understand the difference between the stand your ground. How was it fair for him to get off, but Carmelo Anthony, you can't they can't estimate the degree of somebody else's fear because
Right.
they're working off the fact that, oh well, he couldn't have been scared. It had to be premeditated. And most stores, I'm in Florida, most stores here, they sell knives in the corner stores. Boys buy knives. White boys, black boys, any kind of boys. I don't go in the corner store and buy knives. I've never seen any other like FBA grown men buy knives out of corner stores. So why they sell them?
Hmm.
So his parents for um Austin father to come out and say, oh well, who raised him? Oh well, this and this and this. He could have bought a $12 knife at the corner store.
Yeah. Thank you, dear. But yeah, we get your point. Thank you so much. Let's get Ivy in the building.
How you doing, Tariq?
Hey, Ivy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just observing the case. I just found it interesting. Because if you guys remember the case of Kendrick Johnson, where there were two white boys and he tragically died in a rolled up in a mat.
Yes.
We have this situation where two white brothers again trying to dominate a black boy, and this time it didn't end up that way.
Hmm.
So I'm grateful he didn't end up on the side where we seen last time, because they are privileged to where these white boys can get away with murder. It's a
Yes.
code, like you said. So just observing from the Kendrick Johnson case and how he didn't get justice. And I look at the dynamics of two white boys. and how there's two white boys, in this case brothers, and we know there's a history, especially of ball players or athletes of white boys who have been dominating, and they have this aura towards black men where they feel like they are better than them so they can do whatever they want to them.
Mm.
And as a mother of a teenage boy, I do observe these cases, and I do teach my son, you got to defend yourself, baby, because white supremacy is real and it's taught young. And I
Yes.
just wanted to bring that up. And
Now,
you
how old are
guys be
you? Now, how old are you, Ivy? Because you said you got a teenage son. You look hella young. How old are you?
I just turned 36 April 2nd.
Oh, okay. How old were you when you had your son?
I had my son, oh Lord, in 2010. So I was in
Okay.
my early 20s.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I grew up young. I grew up at a young age. Like I lost my mom when I was 9, so I grew up young. I mean,
Mm.
yet at a young, I jumped off the porch really young.
Yeah.
I've seen so much in my life, and even dealing with white supremacy myself. It can do something to you, and that's why I do try to catch you and listen to your channel, because it's so uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
Just how try to keep us rooted and loving ourselves as black Americans. So
Yes.
you know I just love what you do, but I am big on our boys, like you said, learning how to defend themselves
Yes.
against these white devils.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very good point. Thank you so much, beloved. Yeah, we gotta just look out for these kids, man. Especially these boys, the girls too. Definitely the girls, but our black boys. And I'm a father of 3 sons, so I have a very vested interest in making sure. But even before I had my sons, um, I always wanted to make sure that our black boys were good because I know how our black boys are targeted. I knew how they would target me when I was a black boy. I saw it and I was very aware of it. That's why I've worked all my adult life to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. You see? Let me get some more folks in here, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to everybody in here. Let's get Rose City. Rose City in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Rose City in the building. What's going on, Rose City?
What's good, Flex? How y'all doing
I'm
tonight?
good, brother Ro. We are fabulous over here. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, I just want to put a little salt, something in your ear. Frisco is basically a white enclave of Dallas.
Okay.
It's, it's a lot of paper out there, a lot of paper. And from the news, from what I've been seeing on the news, that twin, the brother, is not getting his story straight. He keeps backtracking, and then trying to cover it up. So I'm sitting here thinking about that and watching all this. They don't try to railroad that kid, man,
Yeah.
as much as they can. I already put some paper on him, so I'm gonna do my best to put a little more on there because I want him to get off on this thing. But from my understanding, that brother of his not telling the whole story. His mom is sitting there doing them crocodile tears that the saltines like to do,
Mm.
and his dad just man, his dad is off the chain. He don't know what the hell he want to do. So I've been watching this. I'm keeping an eye on it. But like I say, Frisco, out there in that area, man, there's some paper out there. There's a number of paper out there. And the other thing, one more thing, those schools are rivals as far as sports go. And both of them kids are football players. So that brother, for them to say that they never seen him before, that's a goddamn lie.
Mm.
And I'm going to let that ride on there. Think about that part.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Flex.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, because I've been hearing stories that they kind of knew each other and he got jumped by the white boy before, which is, I don't know. This is what I heard. This is why I say suspected, alleged. That's why I use these terms because we're hearing a lot of things, so we don't know what's what right now. Only thing we know, basically, that's been pretty consistent is that they approached him, they approached Carmelo, and they put their hands on him first, or he, the Austin dude. That's a consistent narrative from what we know so far. All right, we're gonna get some more calls. Y'all raise your hands if you are ready. Speaking of court cases, family, have y'all heard the details in the Diddy case? In the Diddy case, they just announced that Cassie, Diddy's ex, who was really the one who started the ripple effect of all of this stuff popping off, she's going to be testifying in court against Diddy. Now, this is going to be very, very interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting with Cassie testifying in court. Because she was victim one in the court case, but she's going to use her real name. And there's some of these other quote victims who are basically anonymous. And I think they're fighting to remain anonymous because I don't think they want the public to know who they are. Because if you start knowing who these people are going to dig into their backgrounds and possibly see that, they might be on some fraud shit. But with Cassie testifying against Diddy, could this strengthen the prosecution's case? Cassie's firsthand testimony about her experiences with Diddy, that could provide a lot of compelling evidence. Also, it could establish a pattern of behavior. Her detailed accounts, that might be what they need to demonstrate that consistent pattern of abusive behavior, which is crucial for them using this as a RICO charge and sex trafficking, which is basically, I'm white and I say so. See, a lot of this, it really hinges on Cassie and the consistency of it and them redefining what sex trafficking is. He wasn't making money off of trafficking sex. So I'm really trying to see how they're trying to flip the sex trafficking thing. You see. Now, what's going to whoop Diddy in the ass as far as Cassie is that videotape of him jumping on her in that hotel lobby or in the hotel hallway. Oh, that one's a doozy. That's a doozy. That looks bad. That surveillance video that they were sitting on for years. And, that's going to, with Cassie coming up there, that's going to put a battery in the backs of other quote unquote people who want to say that they're victims. And also, this is going to be interesting how they do with the NDAs, those non-disclosure agreements. So this is going to kind of set a precedent with those NDAs because most likely Cassie signed some kind of non-disclosure agreement during the previous settlement. Remember, they settled. You saw. So I know some legal experts, they indicated that it wouldn't prevent her from testifying in court, but I want to see how that's going to work out. And also with Cassie out there in court testifying against Diddy, that's a heavy influence on jury perception. She's kind of a known figure, not that much. She was like a one or two hit wonder, but she's a person who has a name in the industry, so to speak. So that could hold weight a little bit. And it's going to be interesting to see how this thing goes out. And also with her in the case, that's going to draw a lot of media attention. That's going to draw a lot of media attention to it. So that's going to be interesting. But here's the thing. Some of this could backfire now. Let's look at this thing from different angles. This could possibly backfire. Now, how could this backfire against Cassie testifying against Diddy? Well, number one, that prior settlement could undermine her credibility. See, I'm thinking like Diddy's lawyer. Diddy gets a good lawyer, boy, they can start doing the Birdman hand rub. They can say, well, look, damn it, she already received some money. So, this is like she's clout chasing and sack chasing. She's out here hustling money. She's a disgruntled ex. That's what a good lawyer would do. She get up there talking crazy like, oh, no, ma'am. You out here shaking us down for a bag. You're trying to get revenge. So, you're trying to get another bag. So yeah, this is money. You're money hungry, ma'am. And also her testimony that could reveal some inconsistencies, any contradiction between her current testimony and her past statements, including the lawsuit she settled. Again, that could damage the credibility of her. You see? And also, here's the thing: if Diddy's lawyer, if they want to go for the jugular, hey, just say, look, wasn't no trafficking. We can prove that this was consensual. She liked all them dicks and all them parts. She liked it. She was no, 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 no. This was consent. This is a grown woman. She actively participated in certain activities over a long period of time and continued the relationship despite the alleged abuse. So the defense, they'll sit here and say, hey, all of that stuff was consensual rather than coercion. How you going to coerce a grown ass woman? Yeah, that was I'm telling you what the defense is going to say. You see, and also they can utilize timeline discrepancies um, to weaken the whole trafficking narrative. And also they can exploit her continued association with Diddy post alleged abuse. If she stayed in the relationship and attended events and appeared supportive after the alleged abuse occurred, the defense might just say, hey, her actions are inconsistent with the line of behavior of a victim of sex trafficking. Like, yeah, if nobody had her in a dungeon, she could have bounced. You see? So it's going to be very interesting because the defense, I'm seeing them painting her as a willing participant in the lifestyle. They like, look, that woman enjoyed the luxury. She enjoyed the fame. She enjoyed the drugs. I'm just telling you what a defense lawyer would say if they're thorough. This was an adult making adult choices. She now regrets. But yeah, if dudes were in there running trains, she liked them trains. Yeah, we got video. Since y'all got video, look at these videos. She's moaning and groaning. Did she look coerced? She looked like she liked that. That's what the defense will say. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this thing plays out.
Rule work tonight. Rule work tonight. Rule work tonight. Rule work tonight. I'll be feeling so right. I got that root work tonight. Feeling fresh from the morning light. Root work hit me, I'm set for the night. Look good, smell right. Yeah, I'm that type. I gotta let the world know I got that root work tonight.